She's in love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to bust it to the dance. Yeah. Now I hit the Ep.8 with duffels in my hands. I did half a Zan, 13 hours till I land. Had me out like a light, ayy, like a light, ayy, like a light, ayy. Slept through the flight, ayy, not for the night, ayy. 767, man, this shit got double.
Ooh.
Well, the way y'all put it, I would say probably say Jacksonville. The way y'all talking about it.
No, I say Jacksonville has the biggest expectations coming in. I don't think they have.
Stop it.
I think the expectations. Not even the biggest.
I think the biggest.
We're just saying that the expectations have risen. The expectations
I'm gonna say this.
have risen. I don't think they're on the biggest microscope though.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think that the biggest
biggest microscope.
I think that the biggest microscope is on the defending champions because Carson Wentz is coming back. So
I agree.
So people gonna want to see what they're gonna look like since, like Aaron said, they're losing coaching staff. Foles isn't gonna be playing quarterback, obviously, but if Carson doesn't play well, I don't think the media would do it. But if Carson doesn't play well, you could hear something like, "Well, is Foles gonna play? Is Foles not gonna play?" type stuff. Then you're also gonna hear about what happened. Plus, you had the Super Bowl hangover theory. So I think, and you have Lane Johnson coming out talking about how coming out to the Patriots and their culture. So you definitely want to see. I think they're definitely got the biggest microscope because they're expected to take an even bigger step this year because they'll have Carson Wentz back for hopefully the entire season. They made key pieces like picking up Michael Bennett, like I said earlier. You really don't see any weaknesses on their roster, like maybe at corner, but you don't really see that many weaknesses on their roster. So I would say the defending champs because.
Are you kidding me?
Because they have Carson Wentz coming back. They made key additions, and they. He's gonna say
it's not
done. Go, Aaron.
Are you kidding me? It's the Patriots. Are you kidding me?
Whoa!
It's absolutely the Patriots. It's the Patriots by far. It's not even close. The biggest under the biggest microscope is the Patriots because everybody is waiting to see if the Patriots are going to fall off a cliff or not. If Tom Brady is going to fall off a cliff, if the Patriots dynasty is going to end, it's absolutely the Patriots. And if the Patriots don't make the Super Bowl or don't even come close to making the Super Bowl, they're definitely everybody's going to be talking about the Patriots. No question about it.
You really think it's going to really hurt the Patriots if they don't go to the Super Bowl this year? I don't think so.
No, I'm saying under the biggest microscope.
Well, Aaron,
most people are going to be paying attention the most.
Aaron, people pay attention to the Patriots, but I don't think they had the biggest microscope. Tom Brady might have a big microscope as himself because obviously he's seen as the guy that rushed Jimmy G out of town. So if Jimmy Garoppolo plays well, the 49ers do make the playoffs, then they will be looking at Brady. And if Brady doesn't play as well as he's accustomed to playing, then obviously the microscope will be big on Brady. But I don't think as a team there's going to be a huge microscope because kind of like Mark said, you kind of have nothing to lose in this situation. Even though you're expected to get back to the Super Bowl, there's teams like Jacksonville and Pittsburgh that are expected to compete with you. You have a guy in Brady who's getting older. Belichick and Brady don't have the same chemistry that they used to. So there's a whole confluence of things going on. While in Philadelphia, you need a story. You have a team that just won the Super Bowl. You have a quarterback that could have been the MVP, that should have been the MVP of the league coming back, and then you have key additions that make the team even better. So you have a team that's expected to take a leap and potentially repeat.
What are the media talking about? What are the media talking about this offseason right now? Are you talking about Philly?
They've been talking about kneeling, and they've been talking about
Tom Brady.
No,
they've been talking about the Patriots.
About Le'Veon.
They've been talking about Tom Brady. They've been talking about Tom. It's just Tom Brady.
I haven't heard that much about TB12.
They've been talking about Tom Brady and the Patriots.
They really haven't talked about Brady too much.
Bro, they've been talking about. I'm watching Undisputed. I'm watching First Take. I'm watching The Herd. That's all they talk about is Tom Brady, Patriots, Tom Brady.
So how is the microscope on the Patriots?
Because that's all the media is looking at. They're looking at the Patriots. They're not talking about Philly. They're not talking about the Saints. They're not talking. They're talking a little bit. They're talking about. They're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit. but not as much as they're talking about the Patriots and Tom Brady. They're not talking about Jacksonville at all. Nobody cares about Jacksonville. They're not talking about the Texans. They're talking a little bit about the Steelers, but that's pretty much Le'Veon Bell. That's it. They're not talking about they're talking about the Cowboys a little bit, but that's just the kneeling, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much all they're talking about with the Cowboys.
But it's the summertime. NFL doesn't really get that much shine during this time of year anyway. So I would.
That's
but
because the
still talking
NBA
about the Patriots. But think about this though. When they do get in this summer, when they did have the shine, what was the topics majority top? It was the Patriots. They talked about Le'Veon for about 2 weeks, and then it was just Tom Brady. Patriots. Well, everybody else.
Well, people will be looking to see if the Patriots are still going to be the same this year and if they still going to have that same mystique. But I think the expectations aren't as – even though expectations might be to expect – they're probably expected to make the Super Bowl again. If a team like Jacksonville knocks them off, I don't think people would be surprised.
Look at the betting odds. Look at what Las Vegas has lined up. They have the Patriots going to the Super Bowl. They expect them to go to the Super Bowl. So that's expectations. That's expectations.
We're talking about
not that's the expectation every year. That's just normal.
And then the media.
We expect.
Got the bigger microscope, not the bigger expectation.
It's the Patriots because all the media is talking about is the Patriots. That's it. They're not talking about the Steelers the majority of the time. They're not talking about Jacksonville. They're not talking about San Francisco. They're not talking about Philly. They're not talking about the Cowboys as much as we're talking about the Patriots, which is crazy. You would think they talk more about the Cowboys. No, it's the Patriots.
Because the Cowboys actually stayed out of headlines. That's what.
Because of Tom Brady and his conflict with Bill Belichick and the TB12 method, and when Julian Edelman got busted for PEDs, and they think, it has something to do with TB12 method. They're talking about Tom Brady's trainer. They're talking about Tom Brady's off season and what he's doing. They're talking about Tom Brady, is he going to retire or not? These are all question marks.
I'm hearing a lot of Tom Brady.
I'm hearing a lot of Tom Brady.
So you mean Tom Brady?
They're talking about the Patriots and the roster and how they lost Amendola. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I like how he flipped that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They did talk about that. They talk about the lack of receivers, the lack of defense, offensive line, the lack of
No, I haven't heard
talent.
I haven't heard anybody question the roster moves. I haven't heard anything like that.
I hear.
They talk about the roster. Undisputed, and the Herd has talked about the roster
and
before.
Again, they're like Alabama.
They talked about it.
They're like Alabama. They have guys behind the stars. The guys like the Nate Soldiers, the Deion Lewises, the Malcolm Butlers. Guys
Nate
like
Solder gone.
That's why I said guys behind them, so that way when they do leave, they'll be able to start.
Who?
Didn't the Patriots draft Isaiah Wynn?
Yeah, they drafted Isaiah Wynn. They drafted Sony Michel. They drafted Trent Brown.
So we're relying on rookies?
Yes. What's wrong with that?
All right. What receiving core are? Hold up. What are the receiving core that they have that's dynamic? Are the receiving core dynamic at all?
Chris Hogan ain't a GOAT, bro.
Chris Hogan is a GOAT, or does Tom Brady make him a GOAT?
Chris Hogan is a dog, bro. Don't do that.
No. What did he do in Buffalo?
Who was his quarterback in Buffalo? What was the system in Buffalo?
Tyrod Taylor. Who's okay?
Was it Rex Ryan?
I don't know the system. I don't pay attention.
Was Rex Ryan the head coach when Chris Hogan was the receiver?
Okay. You can say that about any team, though.
What teams?
You can say that about any team that doesn't necessarily have the best system predicate to your ability. My thing is Chris Hogan is an average wide receiver. He's not a very good wide receiver. He's an average wide receiver. Tom Brady makes him look very good. They don't have a talented receiving core. They just lost Brandon Cooks, and Julian Edelman is coming off an injury. So really all you have is Julian Edelman and Gronk, who are both injury prone.
And Chris Hogan.
And Chris Hogan is decent. He's average at best. Amendola is gone. Julian Edelman got injured. Brandon Cooks is gone. Gronk, you don't know if he's going to stay healthy or not.
Now we're going to see what they look like. Since they're going to have Philip Dorsett, who's a pretty good deep threat and a nice slot receiver. Malcolm Mitchell, who we haven't really seen too much.
But yeah.
So I believe that they'll be fine. I mean, That's what the system is there for. So that way you don't need.
So if the Patriots don't make the playoffs,
if the Patriots miss the.
If the Patriots don't make the playoffs, that would be a big story, right?
Just like Jacksonville if they miss the playoffs, or the Steelers if they miss the playoffs, or the Eagles if they happen to miss the playoffs.
So Jacksonville missing the playoffs, people are going to be like, "Oh my God, they missed the playoffs."
Yes. They're going to look at.
People are going to actually care.
That team and say, "How did you not make the playoffs?"
They're not. Nobody's going to care if Jacksonville doesn't make the playoffs. They're going to care if the Patriots don't make the playoffs. They're going to be like, "Oh my God," or the Steelers, or the Eagles. Those are the three teams. Pretty much, they're going to be, or even the Cowboys. Even the Cowboys, if they don't make the playoffs. Even if they don't make the playoffs, they're going to be like, "How did you guys not make the playoffs? It's dysfunctional. You need to fire the coach. Somebody got to go."
You got to slow your roll right there, bro. Nobody's going to. Outside of Dallas, Stephen A., Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe, people like that, nobody's going to be worried about the Cowboys missing the playoffs, bro.
Oh, trust me, the media stopped it. They won't cover it. They're gonna be like, "Dak Prescott not the real deal. Jason Garrett gotta go. Jerry Jones needs to stop getting in his own, own way." They went to the playoffs like 2 years ago.
They're as consistent as the Patriots making the playoffs.
Hey, you know what? I would just leave it at that, bro. Who want to go next today? I would just leave it.
I'll go next. Before I say this, the Rams need to pay that man Aaron Donald his money. It's getting out of hand.
I agree with you. Especially when you got a name like Aaron, you got to pay.
Okay, enough of that. I think I gotta agree with the Eagles.
All right.
Because
they
are the Super Bowl winning. They just won the Super Bowl. They're going to keep a close eye on what Carson Wentz going to do after that injury. And if you start slumming up on the field, you go hear, "Oh, the Nick Foles needs to be playing on."
Thank you.
And if the coaching isn't up to party, like, "Well, they should never let go," and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So if the Eagles, if they do bad, it's going to be bad for them.
I feel like if the Eagles are mediocre next year, that people still gonna say something.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What's mediocre to you?
Like 8-8, 9-7.
Yeah, that's mediocre. Right. Who wants to go next?
I think Marvin's next.
I guess I'll go next.
Marvin, Brandon.
I already said.
All right, Brandon, go next.
What did I say? I said the Eagles have the biggest are gonna have the biggest microscope. I promise y'all gonna see it as we get closer to the season. You can't be the NFL, the reigning champs, and not have.
Especially when Carson Wentz is actually healthy.
A Super Bowl hangover.
Story too. To have the biggest microscope, you gotta have a story.
Yeah.
Patriots.
But
okay.
They don't have the bigger.
Nobody.
They don't have a bigger story than the Eagles, though, because the Eagles are returning the number 3 player on the NFL top 100 list, man.
All right. You know what? I'm surprised nobody said.
What are you gonna say?
If you say the Saints, I'm getting off this podcast.
The 49ers. More importantly, Jimmy G.
Whoa!
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Cleveland Browns.
What? Okay.
Oh yeah. But everybody expects Cleveland to lose.
Brandon, I need your actual answer, bro. What is your actual answer?
My actual answer, I think it's gonna be Jimmy G. I think it's gonna be Cleveland Browns.
Brandon, I'm gonna ask you.
Serious?
Brandon, I'm gonna ask you.
You gotta pick one though.
Guys. I'm gonna ask you this again, Brandon. What is your actual?
I just told you.
What is your actual team? Stop playing. What is your actual team?
A team? I don't.
Yeah, you gotta pick one.
Team?
I don't think it's gonna be a team that's gonna stand out. You're gonna be honest, Houston.
Okay,
that makes more sense than the Browns or the 49ers. That's not that answer.
I think it's gonna be Houston if we talking about teams, but I'm talking about actual stories.
Brandon, the 49ers are coming off a 3-13 season. The Browns are.
You never let me explain why.
Hold on.
Jimmy G. He went undefeated, right?
That doesn't mean you gonna have a big.
He won 5-0.
Barely any film on him.
Brandon, So you're saying that if Jimmy Garoppolo is terrible, he's gonna have a bigger microscope than Tom Brady.
I'm just saying if Jimmy G pans out, let's say 49ers win 9 or 10 games. You telling me they're not gonna have the biggest microscope in the NFL?
No.
With that talent, who?
What talent? What talent?
That's what I'm saying. What talent? Let's say they win 9 or 10 games on that team.
So you think he's gonna have? So if that's the case, you think he's gonna have a bigger microscope than Aaron Rodgers, who usually does more with less. Tom Brady, who was expected to go back to the Super Bowl.
Tom Brady plays for the Patriots.
And has to deal with the stuff off the field, like Aaron was talking about.
But Brian, you can't forget how much Jimmy is making.
He's the top paid.
Oh yeah. Hold up. If that's the case, then Kirk Cousins has the biggest under the biggest microscope.
No, that's not the case because you have Matthew Stafford who got paid, you got Derek Carr who got paid, and we haven't heard too much of them being under a microscope.
And Matt Ryan.
Yeah. So it's not
Matt Ryan.
Jimmy Garoppolo is established yet.
But it's not all about you getting paid.
But it was supply and demand with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, we knew he wasn't, a prime quarterback yet, but it was just supply and demand of the market. So
he's not getting hyped up like Saquon is. Now that would be if he was getting hyped up like Saquon,
exactly,
and then he got the big deal.
It was more like
then I would say he's under the biggest.
It was more like he was the best quarterback on the market at that time, and he was also a free agent. So
and the 49ers knew that he was going to be their future, so they were like, "We're going to pay this guy." So,
so that's your player under. So you're saying Jimmy Garoppolo is under the biggest microscope of the Patriots.
And I don't know why you're not more flabbergasted. More disgusted by this answer, man. This dude said Jimmy Garoppolo over Tom Brady.
That's your favorite QB, bro. That's your favorite.
I know that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
All right, next topic.
Yes.
Which NFL players under the most pressure to produce this year? Wow.
Well, he kind of just answered the question.
I just answered the question.
Man,
I want to go.
I want to go last on this.
I want to say Kirk Cousins is under the most pressure.
Whoa!
What?
Yeah. What? Explain.
What?
Okay.
Explain.
People already had. Well, it's mostly Redskins fans, but people hear that Kirk Cousins is just not that good. He's not worth all of that money.
He's not.
If he's getting all that money and he gets on the field and does the same stuff he did in Washington, it's over for him. He will not hear the end of it.
So you'll be on my side then.
Kirk Cousins performs like.
Oh, for real? Oh. So by saying that so what you're saying is that because you just say he performs like doo-doo. So you're saying the past seasons he's been performing like doo-doo? Is that what you're saying? He performing like trash?
Against the Cowboys, yeah.
Against the Cowboys. Okay.
That was one game. We've cooked them the next 5.
Remember Matt Castle?
Bro, Eric.
Remember Matt Castle's game?
He lined that up perfectly for you, bro. You could have thought about Barry, man.
No. I'm gonna keep going. Remember Matt Castle when y'all came to our place and won? Remember that game and Kirk Cousins did absolutely nothing? Remember that game? Oh yeah. Remember all the other games? Remember Barry took him to church? Remember that game? Remember that game? Oh yeah, man. 1-6 against the Cowboys. 1-6. Kirk Cousins against your rival team. You couldn't even beat them at home. You were 0-4 at home. How is that possible?
You better hope he don't beat Aaron Rodgers.
When Aaron Rodgers sees Kirk Cousins on the field, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got this. This is about to be easy."
That year the Cowboys went 13-3. Didn't the Redskins bust the Packers?
They did bust the Packers. Kirk Cousins put up numbers.
But look, check this out though. Whoa. When was this? This is the second year. This is the second year starting. Oh yeah.
Whenever
in the beginning, yeah. In the beginning.
On the Packers.
Oh yeah, in the beginning. Second year in the beginning, I believed him. But then once it got to like the middle of the season, I was like, nope, I'm done with this guy. He's trash. He's absolutely garbage. And that's when my relationship with Kirk Cousins went downhill. and I'm glad he's out of there, or else I would have been a 49ers fan. And now we can move on.
You just said my relationship with Kirk Cousins went downhill. You act like you know that man. Like you know this man.
Aaron sounds like he's separated from Kirk Cousins, man. Like,
I'm saying,
I was your boyfriend or something, my guy.
Man, Aaron sounds like an ex-girlfriend, bro.
Exactly. No. Hey, Brandon, they're straight. They haven't broke up yet. He just kind of off to the side.
Oh really?
Aaron was trying to
really?
break it up, but he was like, "Hey man," but then he's like, "Hey."
Stop it! Oh, stop it!
So he's like, "All right, man. I keep it on the back burner. I'll let you know later."
Look, man, Kirk Cousins, like Brian said, I'm not gonna say he's under the biggest has the most pressure. I'm gonna say Dak Prescott has the most pressure. What? Yeah. I'm surprised y'all on that one. Y'all thought I was gonna say Kirk Cousins.
You did.
It's Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. Man, ain't nobody worried about Dak.
Nobody paid attention to Dak Prescott.
Yes, people are.
Unless you're worried about.
Let me explain.
There is
stop caring about
Dak Prescott. Is the Robin Hood.
Yes, he's under the most. Dak Prescott's under the most pressure because if he doesn't produce this year, there'll be a lot of question marks. They're gonna be like, oh man, Dak Prescott is a 4th round pick. No wonder he was drafted in the 4th round. Oh, Dak Prescott isn't this. Oh, Dak Prescott isn't that. And plus, he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. This ain't just any other regular team. It's like the Lakers, the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of the biggest teams in the world, bro. I'm playing for the Dallas freaking Cowboys, and you don't produce as the quarterback, one of those main famous positions for the Cowboys, and you don't produce. Man, Dak Prescott has the most pressure, in my opinion, not Kirk Cousins, even though I would like to say Kirk Cousins, but I'm going to be unbiased on this. I'm going to be very objective.
Oh, my God.
Dak Prescott, if Dak Prescott don't produce, the Cowboys got to draft another quarterback. They're pretty much going to go downhill from here. Because Tony Romo, although Tony Romo,
his third year, bro.
And if he doesn't produce, that's bad.
His third year. It took Drew Brees and Tom Brady like 6 years before they finally became great.
Oh, stop it. Tom Brady, first of all, if you think about it, when he first started that year,
his first few years,
Drew Bledsoe, they went like 0-2 or something like that. It was bad. No, he got injured or something. They weren't winning. When Tom Brady came in there, although he was the game manager, they still won when he was starting. It's my whole thing. It's not necessarily that you have to like put up numbers, like godly numbers. No, it's about winning at the end of the day. And if the Cowboys don't win and Dak Prescott doesn't look like how he's supposed to look, there's going to be a lot of question marks. They're going to be like, is Dak Prescott really that guy?
So what if Dak Prescott does his best Alex Smith impression and manages the game, but they end up losing?
They're still going to be like, oh, is he the guy?
Here's the thing,
is he the guy?
Dak Prescott doesn't really have a reason to feel pressure because you got to listen. All of the things that made us great in his rookie season have all come back. The O-line is getting back in shape. Zeke is back. The defense is getting somewhat better, hopefully. Only thing he has to be worried about is throwing the ball down the field. And if they run the offense how they usually do, the receivers will get open.
Hey, Brian. Did y'all sign DeMarcus Lawrence, bro?
Franchise tag.
Franchise tag. Hold up, but y'all played a 4th place schedule that year. Y'all went to the playoffs.
Okay,
you got to remember that as well. And y'all didn't play any good players.
Consider Dak's down year. We still won 9 games.
Okay, I give you that, but you got to remember people were not healthy that season as well. There was a lot of players on IR that year. So we'll see this year because there's a lot of good teams in the NFC. Let's see what Dak Prescott is really made of. Because by your 3rd year, you got to be rolling, you got to be producing by your 3rd year. No more excuses. 1st and 2nd year will give you excuses. Your third year, oh, you got to produce now. It's time to get it. It's time to get it going. And if Dak Prescott don't produce, he's going. Man, it's going to be crazy. You're going to hear a lot of haters.
All right, so
what does he need to do?
Yeah, exactly. Does he need to make the playoffs?
Well, number one, either
what does he have to do?
Either 2 or 3 things have to happen. The Cowboys have to win 10, 11 games and go to playoffs. And, he can manage the game, blah, 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 put up okay numbers, but they have to win. Or he can play well, but the team around him is not producing that, good enough. Maybe the defense is trash. Maybe they got injuries, blah, 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 blah. But he's still doing his thing, Or he can produce, put up really good numbers, and they win because of him. Three of those things have to happen. Those 3 things don't happen, then you might as well just get ready for people to say, oh, Dak Prescott is not the guy. Dak Prescott is a phony. Dak Prescott is trash, blah, blah, blah. So that's what has to happen.
Marvin.
Who wants to go next? Who's under the most pressure? Yeah, it could be a quarterback, it could be a corner, running back, any position. Yeah, it could be any player.
Under the most pressure, though, the player?
Yeah, under the most pressure. Player.
Man, maybe OBJ.
What? OBJ?
I mean, I think Odell, I feel like he's one of those players who just creates his own pressure. Because it just seems like he's been doing all offseason.
He's LeVar Ball.
His own. He's LeVar. Maybe.
He's LeVar Ball.
I feel like maybe that's just the way he motivates himself. But he's just been putting it out here that he believes is the best wide receiver in the game. He's been making these little mini mixtapes all offseason, all summer long. And I want to see him put up or shut up. I honestly do.
Okay.
Exactly. And it's his contract year. I feel like he has a lot of pressure on him. I mean, and the NFC is yeah, New York.
They tough on you, bro.
You see how the spotlight goes on him when he has his tantrums. When he had the little fight with the goalpost on the sideline. I think OBJ.
But you think
has the most pressure on him coming into the season?
You think people gonna be criticizing them left and right if he don't produce like a Kirk Cousins, like a Dak Prescott, like a Jimmy Garoppolo? You think people gonna be
because it's New York? Because it's Odell.
But he's a receiver though.
Because it's New York, yes.
But at the same time, Kirk Cousins got overpaid. Jimmy Garoppolo, people say he got overpaid. You don't think that?
There's no secret that Jimmy J got overpaid. We all know he got overpaid. There's no pressure on him.
But you gotta remember Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick wanted Jimmy Garoppolo to be the heir apparent to Tom Brady. That's a
Tom Brady?
Oh, fall off a cliff. Yeah.
Look, man, if I'm 41 and still a quarterback, I'm gonna be close to the owner too, because I'm not trying to keep my job.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, Brian. I got a question for you. So, what if he would have won this season? Do you think that he would still have the biggest pressure on him coming on? Do you think it'll be more or less? What if he would have won last year in the Super Bowl? Do you think he would still have the most pressure on him going into the season?
I don't know. Pressure? All right, well, who else want to go? Brandon, did you go? Oh, he said Jimmy. Oh, yeah. Look, Brady? But Brady, I don't think he needs to prove anything else because he's the GOAT.
I don't, and that's easy because the way Brady plays doesn't.
I mean, the only thing I would say that with terms of Brady having pressure, you could be like, well, is it Brady the reason why they're winning, or is it Belichick the reason why they're winning, or was Brady? Yeah,
because I don't. And you brought up a good point there, Aaron. Because whenever the Patriots are down going to the halftime, it's not. The question isn't what's Brady going to do to turn it around. It's always what Belichick's going to do in the locker room the adjustments he's going to make.
Exactly.
Well, you don't hear that about other teams. That's only Belichick.
That's true. That is true. I agree, but my thing is, number one, I think it's more Brady than it is Belichick. But that is a narrative that Brady is trying. Matter of fact, Bill Belichick is trying. That's the reason why he wanted to get rid of Brady. One of the reasons, because he wants that narrative. He wants people to say, "Well, it was Belichick more than it was Brady." So he was going to have.
I don't think a guy like Belichick.
Absolutely. No, it's not his biggest motivation.
I mean, just because Jimmy G is younger, that's it. I mean, of course, I want to go with the younger.
No, of course he's talented.
Yeah, true.
That's true. Well, Drew Bledsoe was kind of stinking the joint, bro. So they might have put Tom Brady in there. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was pretty good. Next topic. Yeah. Woo, man. All right. So training camp, I feel like training camp, you can't really do anything more that you already did because they've gotten rid of because they've eliminated some practices. I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I think they got rid of that, and I just feel like the intensity, you can't really change that because at the end of the day, they're very competitive. Players are very competitive. It don't matter what it is, and you're trying to get after it no matter what, and trying to improve, during training camp, during those sessions. So you can't really change anything with training camp, but preseason, adopt what the college has done. They don't have preseason.
Well, do you think they could take preseason?
And these are
completely.
They don't have college. Don't have preseason.
Aaron, preseason is different because it's the last.
And these are amateurs. These are amateurs
on the roster. That's why they have NFL preseason, because that's the last chance for a lot of guys to get on the roster. So they can't take away.
So why not have?
Like, people are still getting.
But why not have preseason? All right, then how about you can either not have the preseason and do 7-on-7 scrimmages or 11-on-11 scrimmages instead in training camp.
Don't they already do that?
Yeah, they do that. Exactly. With other teams, you can invite them over. Just don't have a preseason where you play a full 4 quarters, 15 minutes. Yeah, you could do that too. I was gonna say that as well. So 2 of those choices. You can either have 2 preseason games where you don't play your starters, just play the rookies and play the bubble starters, like you said, or the players that are trying to make, your team as well. Or you can have no preseason games and just have 11-on-11 scrimmages during training camp, and invite teams to come to the training camp, and you can just do that instead, and you won't have to play a full game, and you won't have to endure any injuries or risk any injuries from other players. So that's how I feel about it. How they can prevent injuries from happening. Well, more injuries from happening.
I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, injuries in NFL go hand in hand. So it's kind of hard to eliminate the factor of injury of anything that involves football. I mean, even with the preseasons now, the starters only play for 1 quarter. I mean, your starting quarterback plays a few series anyway, and they take him out. I don't know what to do to prevent injuries from happening in a football game, with these guys. Because it's just an unpredictable sport.
But if you think about it, it's the game doesn't mean anything. Preseason doesn't mean anything. 11
lesser than games.
Why risk it? College football, they do it.
College football is not NFL.
How college football, they do it and they still play well. NFL. I'm talking about quarterbacks and all that. They don't matter. Those are amateurs and they still play well. Alabama looks well the first week. Ohio State.
There's way more variables that go into the NFL. Now, I agree they could lessen the games in preseason, but as far as preventing injuries from happening in preseason, it's impossible. It's impossible to take away injury out of the art of football. They go hand in hand. You have a 99% chance of getting injured in your career as an NFL player.
I'm just saying lessen the chance. lessen the chance.
What, play flag
because
football?
I mean, you'll have pads, but you're not going to play the full 60 minutes of football like you would do in a preseason game. Well, that's all up to the teams and what they want to do, and what their rules are, regulations. My thing is preseason doesn't mean anything. You're not going to get anything. You're not going to win anything in preseason. The only thing that really makes sense about preseason is your rookies, what you see out of your rookies, and your bubble starters. Because if you know who's going to start on your team already, why are you going to play them? They'll be fine. I think. Because look at Jordy Nelson 2 years ago and what happened to the Packers when he tore his ACL. Look what happened to the Packers. Or Odell. Because Odell was not. Although Odell, he played okay, he wasn't really the same after he injured. What was he? He sprained it or something? I forgot what happened. After that, then he had that, that high ankle sprain turn into what he did. He fractured his foot or something? Fractured his ankle? I forgot what it was. Exactly. So that could turn into, during the season, that could turn into a fracture of an ankle or your foot or ACL tear. You just risking that stuff, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You might as well just not let your starters play and have 2 preseason games. But the owners are just so greedy.
They want the money
because they make a profit out of it. Exactly. They want the profit, even though that's like pennies and change to them. Like $1 million, $2 million is pennies and change. So Brian. Who next?
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see how they can do anything about it. I mean, because injuries and injuries, they just happen. You could try to reduce the amount of games of preseason and how many starter reps they give, or anything can happen. Any play could be your last play, and that's just period. That's just the risk you take.
Try to give you the reminder. I don't know. I can't.
How you gonna keep it? But you made it. I didn't make it.
So I told them to call me reminder, and they called me.
Well, when you made the appointment, that's when you said appointment. That's when you got the reminder. That's not my fault. It's not my fault.
That's why I called you to tell you.
That's not my fault. No, it's still not my fault. If I had no idea about it, that's not my fault. Hold on, time back on me.
Just look at a guy like Tony Romo when he got injured in a meaningless game. Do you really want that to continue to happen? A guy like Tony Romo, a starting quarterback.
I would.
That was a blessing in disguise, who's to say Tony Romo doesn't get hurt in the regular season? We still would have got to see Dak anyway. My thing is, somebody like Tony Romo, your starting quarterback, a Pro Bowl level player, gets injured in the preseason. Jordy Nelson gets injured in the preseason. Countless Odell Beckham gets injured in the preseason. Countless other players get injured in the preseason. My thing is, it doesn't mean anything. The game means nothing. Your starters should not play at all. Bubble players, rookies should play.
What if
nothing
your
else.
First round draft pick that your franchise is counting on? What if he gets hurt?
I'm sorry. That's what it is.
Well, it depends. Well, number one, it depends on the first round pick. Now, if it's like a quarterback or something like that, okay, that is a big loss. But at the end of the day, he is a rookie. It is just his first year. he hasn't established himself as a star yet. He hasn't established himself as a good starter. A summer league thing, kind of, sort of, in a way. I just don't think that your starters that have established themselves as good players in the league should have to play and put wear and tear to their body, no matter if it's maybe a half a quarter, first half, because some teams actually play on the first game of the preseason. They make them play their whole starting lineup for the first half of the game, which is dangerous, which you shouldn't do. So
you know what else is dangerous?
Have two preseason games. What?
In that first game of the season, because your people is cold.
That is dangerous. But that's why you have 11-on-11 scrimmage. That's
not the same. That's not the same.
But at the same time, college and high school, they do that. They don't have preseason. I don't think you didn't go, Brandon? All right. What you got to say? Yeah, it's like 4 games. That's a good idea.
Defense, exactly.
Yeah, the linebackers and defensive end.
Yeah, that one player that can make his career by making that big hit.
Yeah, and I don't think you can touch nobody in flag football. You can't. So how you gonna have defensive linemen and old linemen? How are they gonna get better? You can't touch them.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. You can't touch nobody. No, you can't.
I feel like more people gonna get hurt than that.
You can't block nobody.
What flag football are you playing? I
don't know what flag football are you playing.
Backyard flag. I don't know what the.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know what that is. That's not regular flag football, bro.
No, you cannot. I've seen the game.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
Penalty.
That is
you cannot.
Flag football.
Yeah, you can't do that at all.
And you can't
that
even
is not
do
allowed.
certain
but
skill moves. Like you can't even do some spin moves and juke moves and all that stuff. Why would they let you touch people if you can't even do that?
That's the only thing. That's the only thing you can do.
The bottom line is flag football is way too crippling to the players, and it doesn't help a person who is trying to get on that last slot on his team to be a part of a game that's crippling them.
Talking about like concussions and how they CTE and all that stuff. I mean, I think they do that already. And by the way, when you talk about flag football, I mean they could do no pads. How about just no pads? Because
how is that going to prevent injury?
Well, I'm just telling you. That's what high school does, and nobody in high school gets injured.
Because it's high school, Aaron. Those are 17 and 18-year-olds.
Yeah, we gotta do that. I'm just saying, if you're gonna say flag football, why not just no pads? That is true. But he did say it's like a summer league. It's not like He still won preseason and stuff.
I don't know. The bottom line, only way preseason is going away is if we stop watching it. As long as they can find a way
oh, stop! Nobody's really watching it. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. I don't watch preseason
possibly
no more.
That's just quarter time for preseason games to like 8,
or 10, something around range. They could do that. That would actually be a good idea. I just need them to stop.
Yeah, but Brian, it's just the thing is you can still play safe in the NFL and still play safe in a football game, still get hurt, So there's no
the issue's not getting hurt, it's getting injured.
Well, we'll look at let's
see
this preseason and see if there's a lot of injuries that happen. And if there's not any crucial, of course not.
Yeah, I don't think Odell gonna be playing a snap.
Sure, we'll see.
But Brian,
he might not be playing a snap.
We'll see if any team detrifying injuries happen in the preseason this year.
See, I know you talking from a coach perspective, but as a player, you probably come from no name college. You really want to give one. I'm trying to make some plays. That's what they trying to say. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, y'all gotta play. Exactly. Literally praying. We're literally praying and knocking on wood that nobody gets injured. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like just imagine, knock on wood, that Dak Prescott gets injured in the preseason. How would you feel? Knock on wood.
Honestly,
I'd be upset, but I wouldn't be that upset either.
What about Zeke? What about Zeke?
I'm throwing the season away.
Then you're going to be like, man, the preseason. Why they have all these games? Why they make them play all this stuff? You going to be on my side now. You aren't going to be saying you can't do nothing about it. What, man? It's just imagine being a player. You work all off season. You work hard, and then you go to preseason and you get injured and you're out the whole season. You know how heartbreaking that will be, man. You know how tough that will be. You know how tough that will be. A preseason game, bro. Just imagine that for 1 second. You work that hard. Hey, man. Hey, Marvin, turn down your audio, bro. Who is that?
No,
Brandon? Is that Brandon?
The phone was ringing.
Oh yeah. All right. I was just making sure. Man, I'm just saying, like a guy like Jason Verrett, like how do you get injured off of conditioning? Man, forget Albert Haynesworth, man. What is he even doing right now? I don't even know where he is. I don't know where he is. I don't even care. Man, forget that dude, bro. Albert Haynesworth. He was trash. He was doo-doo. But a conditioning test? Are you kidding me? You tear your ACL off a conditioning test? Bro, you need to drink some milk. If you getting injured off a conditioning test, you need to drink some milk. Oh, stop it. Bro, they probably just running, man. Your bones are that brittle. You're Derrick Rose out there? Bro, but you said resting, so they're not working out or nothing. They're not trying to get in shape or anything like that. Then that's your trainer's fault then. If you get injured the first day, that's your trainer's fault. Off of conditioning. Just all right, well, we're going to end it on that note. I appreciate every one of you guys for coming on the hot seat today. You know, we got a lot of things done today. We got a lot of stuff that we talked about that I of course disagree on, for one, Kirk Cousins. But we'll talk about that's a different subject for a different day.
I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself today.
Nah, you're top, man. Some of the stuff you're saying is just ridiculous.
Little experts, so.
What did you say? What was your NFL predict? You said the Cowboys was going to be. that's hilarious.
Not overall.
Hold up. In the AFC, you said the Raiders. That's absolutely hilarious. Oh, the Ravens. Oh, my bad. The Ravens. Yeah, I guess so. Shout out to her. You know, but yeah, this. Hey, we just playing. But yeah, this is the hot seat, and we out.